To EVTN News, everyone. Off to a slightly late start, but that is because I was finishing up research for the last story on my list. So let's get started with the first one, though. Of course, the Synod is going on, and there's not a ton of information, but lots of LMNOP stuff that is going on here. And if you think about it, this is just really disgusting. And it is a sin that cries out to heaven for vengeance, but it's being promoted very, very heavily. A number of cardinals and other members of the Synod on Synodality attended a pro LMNOP event hosted by Father James Martin, S.J., and his outreach group in Rome on October 8th, during which a LMNOP married man called for love to be expressed. So Christopher Vela said, "Get to know the real people behind the mask who are trying to live a Catholic life. Let's allow love to be expressed." Again, disgusting. Vela leads the Malta-based LMNOP Catholic group Drachma and spoke in the hall of the General Curia House of the Jesuits in Rome, no surprise, at an event held on the sidelines of the Synod on Synodality. He lives as what he calls himself, an LMNOP Catholic married to another man. Organized by Martin's pro LMNOP group Outreach and the Jesuit-run America magazine, the event saw cardinals and other members of the Synod gather together to hear the testimony of LMNOP Catholics. It began with a welcome. All right, so there's some names dropped here. It began with a welcome from Father Antoine Kerhuel, S.J., who serves as secretary of the Jesuits. Again, no surprise that Jesuits are promoting an LMNOP event. Cardinal Stephen Chow, S.J., Synod member and Bishop of Hong Kong. Oh, he's a communist, I believe. He led a prayer during the event. Well, the second youngest Synod member, and this is a person who I've mentioned before, Julia Osika, led the closing prayer. So she is the random college student from Philadelphia who was selected. But I don't know that she's so random, because she dissents from the Catholic faith on a number of issues, and this looks to be one of them. So very impressionable. I guess college students are very impressionable. I guess, not I guess, I know. Which is why their professors propagandize them? I don't know. They go to college and they come up with these ideas that their professors tell them, because the professors are really, really smart and they would never be misguided in anything. Anyway, yes, a very impressionable youth who was at this LMNOP prayer meeting. Wow, I have a lot of viewers. Oh, okay. Must have been bots. It went from 11 to 7. Thanks for joining me, by the way. I don't know what the title was, but that's actually really funny that it went so quickly. Okay, and leave a comment if you have any information. Okay. Bishop Bernard Tissier de Malloret of the Traditionalist Society of St. Pius X died on October 8th last week. His funeral will be held at the seminary on Friday, October 18th at 9:30 a.m. local time. His Excellency was born in Salanches, Savoy, in France, and was one of 4 priests consecrated as bishop by the SSPX founder, Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre, and the Brazilian Bishop Antonio de Castro Meyer in 1998 against the wishes of then Pope John Paul II. So, yes, pray for his soul, for sure. And this also means that the SSPX may be consecrating new bishops. Okay. And, okay, more synodal stuff. So at the Synod press conference on October 10th, they had an Orthodox, an Anglican, and a Mennonite answer questions. Why did they not instead invite a Byzantine Catholic, a member of the Anglican Ordinariate, and a Protestant convert? So Orthodox, Anglican, and Mennonite. So you could do a Byzantine Catholic. So all these people are inside the church. And like a Byzantine Catholic, an Anglican Ordinariate, and Protestant convert, they are all inside the church, as opposed to the Orthodox, Anglican, heretic, and Mennonite. Furthermore, why do these people accept the invitation? Was it to laugh in the face of the real Catholics? Do they actually believe in their own religions? And if they do, then why would they go to the Synod in the first place, other than to laugh in Francis's face? Or if they believe in the Catholic faith, then why don't they just convert? So I don't know. It's very strange, but this ecumenia is absolutely out of control. Okay, and then the next story in a late night press release on Saturday, local time, New Ways Ministry, of course, the LMNOP group, announced that they sponsored a group to meet with Francis at the Vatican in a discussion which lasted nearly 90 minutes. They urged Francis to move past the Church's negative approach to gender diverse people and to encourage church leaders to listen more attentively to the lives and faith of the LMNOPQ plus people. The meeting, though sponsored by New Ways Ministry, was arranged by Sister Janine Gramick, the dissident pro-LMNOP nun, along with Robert Nugent, the co-founder of New Ways Ministry. There were a few gender misidentified persons, and included in the group was Dr. Cynthia Herrick, a doctor who performs LMNOP surgery. So she does choppings and mutilations, and Henrik, the doctor who performs the surgeries, described Francis as very receptive. She said he listened very empathetically. He also shared that he always wants to focus on the person, the well-being of the person. So that's very strange. Okay. So more nonsense in the Vatican, and okay, and then I have this last news item, and then one that I just found. So Cardinal Muller, Cardinal Gerhard Ludwig Muller, took part in the Synod for the first time on October 14th. That's today. He had been unable to attend the first 2 weeks of the meeting due to back problems. So Muller immediately took the floor and made it clear that the synod was not, that the synopsis was not a real synod. He criticized the fact that priests, deacons, religious, and lay people were also allowed to vote alongside the bishops. So Muller is standing up for the Catholic faith, so good for him. And then this last bit of news is, okay, from the National Catholic Distorter, so sorry guys, but the writer of the article said Cardinal Wilton Gregory will turn 77 in December, but his health has been uneven, and sources tell me the process of selecting his successor has begun. Now, if you know, this is actually like bigger news than people may realize, because like Washington D.C. has a lot of skeletons buried in the closet, because that's where McCarrick was at, and Gregory was appointed to Washington D.C. to cover it up, and he did such a good job that he got a Cardinal's hat. But now with his health going downhill, it looks like he's going to take an early retirement, and someone else is going to move into there. Now, do you want to venture a guess who it will be? I'll tell you my guess. I think it's going to be McElroy, because McElroy's part of the McCarrick network, and he'll continue the cover up and continue to destroy the archdiocese, just obliterate it. And I mean, he's terrible. I think Francis would really like him there. So that's the last little bit of news. All right, so I have some more stuff coming up on this channel. And you know, most weeks are slow news weeks, and I try not to report on too many stories, especially ones that are kind of over the top a little bit. I don't know. I guess, have you seen Eric Sammons? And it was both Eric Sammons and Tim Flanders. They said, "Oh, we're not going to criticize Francis anymore." And I was like, I don't know. Take a page out of my playbook in a sense, because I'm just trying not to talk about him. Although I did in this video. I talked about him meeting with the surgeon who does LMNOP choppings and mutilations and everything. So yeah, I'm not really holding strong to that standard, I guess, of not talking about Francis, but I've significantly scaled back, if you haven't noticed. Unless he says something really, really crazy for even him, I try not to talk about it. But I think these guys they made it sort of like a public thing. I think they could have just decided not to talk about him so much, and just kind of scaled back on it and not mention, not sort of, what would you say? Not bring a lot of attention to themselves in a sense. Although I did post a video where I said I had Francis fatigue, so does that count? I don't know. But I mean, I think most people have it by now. And also, I guess people are starting to really look into Vatican II and say, wow, there's something really sinister that was going on. So keep doing it. Good for them. May you find the truth. And this has been EVTN News. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we are the laity, and we will not be silent.